Hey, I just want to discuss Lazarus because I honestly need to let my thoughts out about this show. Because it just ended yesterday. So I just want to get my quick thoughts on how I feel about it and what I think. Short answer: I don't think the show is worth watching unless you want to watch something that's action packed and filled. If that's what you're looking for, then I definitely do recommend it. Other than that, I would not recommend checking out this show, and here are the reasons why, to be honest. Starting off with the characters, the character that I really enjoyed was Axel. Axel was the one that was that seems to be the one that fleshed out. He was very cool. He had the most scenes as well in the show. Best chemistry with everyone, the whole cast. Also, I also really enjoyed his sense of humor and how laid back he was, and how chill and that his hobby was just essentially breaking out of prison. I thought that was funny when we find that out. Next is Dog. I think Dog is like probably one of the other characters that I found interesting, but we don't really learn that much about him other than the fact that he's a researcher, I think, and like in a researcher in a facility before he joined Lazarus. So there's really not much, and I also really like the expressions that he made. He's very expressive, so that's probably why I enjoyed him. Even though he's probably the most stoic out of the group. Next is Chris. Chris is probably the next character I enjoyed. The third character I enjoyed the most, I should say. She was pretty cool. Even the fact that she was a Russian spy, I think that was interesting. Even though that came out of nowhere, to be honest. But it kind of makes sense when thinking how she knows how to shoot guns and how to fight and everything. Next we have let's do Leland. Leland, this is the comic relief of the group. I have no hate for him nor love. He's just there, to be honest, most of the time. I mean, he's cool and all. His backstory, they didn't really like flesh out his character, in my opinion, as much. Like, he's coming from like a rich background, and that apparently he's an heir. He's a rich famous heir. So I don't know. It didn't do much for me. It didn't really make a difference for me in this character. He was just there. But Elena, the last member of Lazarus, I liked her. I think I liked her more than Leland, to be honest. Just for the fact that she was very expressive and that she was very expressive as well, and she had very good chemistry with Doug. She had good chemistry with Chris. It was just fun to watch. It was just fun watching her, and plus all her hacking aspects was really interesting and fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, those are the characters. I think, like I said, I think the best one's without a doubt Axel. I think. Next is the story. How I feel about the story. I think the concept itself was cool. The fact that I didn't talk about him, but Dr. Skinner, the main villain, he essentially infected everyone with a drug, with Hypno, and they're going to die in 3 days. I like the promising idea, but I think what killed it for me when watching this show was the fact that like they had to do this wild goose chase to find Skinner, and every time it feels like we're like advancing, like getting closer to finding him, we're back to square one, which kind of irritates me. One of the reasons why I wouldn't recommend watching this show, other than that the characters don't really get fleshed out either, or Skinner for that matter, which is weird because you would think they would get more fleshed out. Heck, we barely get any screen time for Skinner, or for him. So yeah, I mean, and the fact that they can basically do this goose chase looking for him 30 days, they have to go and they have to go through all these different set pieces and stuff like that. And that's the thing. I think what really stands out in this show, for plot wise, is that there's so many things happening at once. Because you have them looking for Skinner. You have the NSA, the group that made Lazarus, like beefing with the army, because apparently the army is making like bioweapons, and that's the whole reason why that they're even looking for Skinner and for the cure as well. One of the reasons why, because they want to try to prevent the army in NISCOM, I think it's called, the section of the army, to stop them from making bioweapons. So that's one of the other goals besides finding Skinner and making a cure. But that whole part right there with the art, with like Linscom and the art, like backstabbing Lazarus, came out of nowhere. Made no sense to me. I don't even know why they would do something like that, especially when if they don't find Skinner, everyone in the whole world dies. So they die too. So I didn't see that. It didn't make no sense to me personally. But yeah, this plot's all over the place. It's messy. I think my bad. I don't mind it being a slow burner, but the fact that it's a slow burner and that a lot of like, we're back to square one. Oh, we gotta look for Skinner again, new clue for Skinner, this and that. It was so annoying. It was just not my taste, honestly, when they did that. I don't know. I definitely would not recommend this show just for the story or for its characters alone. It's for sure you're watching this show for the action. And don't get me started with the whole plot point with the assassin that came out of nowhere. That made no sense because it's like cool. They hire a random assassin to kill Axel, but like that really goes nowhere. Other than a cool fight scene at the end in the final episode between Axel and the assassin, like Spike, where Spike had to get out from the hospital bed and go take down the Dragon Triad, the Red Dragon Triad, I believe it's called. I forget the name of the gang in Cowboy Bebop that Spike's from. But yeah, it's the same thing. It basically, Axel has to get up from the hospital bed, go meet him, kick his ass, all this and that, beat him in the fight. I don't know. And then the final part that had to be questioning everything is the fact that apparently like every member of Lazarus apparently died and came back to life. Like what? So you're telling me that at the airport incident, they all died from a prototype of Hapna, somehow mutated, came back to life, and now are basically immune to Hapna in a sense. So that makes sense. So when Axel says, "Oh, I took Hapna, it didn't affect me," so that makes because he's grown a immunity to it or something, or some kind of mutation. But still, that was so weird. And does this mean that they were chosen because they're basically mutated and not because of the certain skill sets they had? Because like Leland didn't have a real skill set. Helena's mostly just a hacker. Doug is a researcher. Other than that, I'm not really sure what his skill set is. I think he might have been the team leader too. Chris was a Russian spy, ex-Russian spy, so she has a whole array of tools. And Axel's just good at fighting and knows how to parkour. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like the only member that made sense right off the bat that to add to the team would be Elena, because they need a hacker. Everyone else, I don't know. I feel like they could all be interchangeable with any other character with a similar skill set. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed this show for what it is. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the cool action set pieces. I think it has a cool message that it's trying to tell, but I think it's not well displayed, if that makes sense. Or not well displayed, I should say, more like soft-spoken, because clearly it's trying to drive home that humans are like bad people, like humanity are basically greedy, and we're essentially killing Mother Earth, and by killing each other because we're starting all these wars and everything, this and that. So I get the message. Honestly, honestly, the memo, I liked it. I think the message is great. I just don't know if it landed the landing and what they wanted to do. But yeah, that's how I feel about this show. That's how I thought about it. That's it. Let me know, I guess, how you feel.